Friends. I am gonna flip this around. This is the view you should be seeing. All right, we're gonna get started in just a moment. I'm Christine, Yogi DLT on Insta and on Apple Music. Guys, I posted a bunch of new playlists on Apple Music, so please feel free to go ahead and download or add any of those playlists to your library or go on Spotify and make it your own. But yeah, at Yogi DLT. I also have like non-yoga playlists posted too, so do your own thing. All right. Now that we've got this a little bit more situated, I do want to make sure that my head is not chopped off, but also make sure you can kind of see the floor a little bit. Because sometimes we go off of our mat, and that's cool. We don't have to stick to our boundaries here. We're at home. We're safe. Oh gosh. Okay, cool. I think we're good, friends. So, uh, let's talk about stuff while we give ourselves a second to get live and streaming, and we'll get this on the Black Swan yoga page. Hi, Christine again, Yogi DLT. That's my Insta and my Apple Music, so you can go download any Apple Music playlist you want. My newer ones are the higher number playlists. I'm very original with my playlist names, haha. I just try to do them by numbers so I know which ones are my newer ones. So it's like yoga, BSY, 29 is like the highest one I think right now I have published. So you can go listen to all 29 of those playlists for BSY. And then I have other ones under um, WGHY yoga, which is another set of playlists I have, and I have probably tons of those too. So I should probably introduce the dog that's going to be interrupting our flow at some point. Zozo, come here. Because really, I'm trying to get her to stop licking her paws. No, ma'am. Come here. So if you see this very cute fur baby appear, this is Zozo. Oh, can you turn so your butt's not facing the camera, please? Come here. Come here. Good girl. Sit. Wait, wait, wait. Turn, 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 turn. Okay, this is my sweet old girl, Zozo. And she really likes to come visit me on my mat lately. I think she's being a little needy, but she's sweet. And so hopefully she won't interrupt too much. But yeah, that's Miss Zoe. She runs the house. I just exist here to rub her belly and feed her food. So I'm going to get this thing started. Please don't forget that there is a donation page, blackswanyoga.com. You select Austin as a city because I teach in Austin. And if you select Austin, there should be a donation link. 100% of those donations go to the Black Swan yoga teachers that are teaching online. And we really appreciate any and all that you can donate. I know that sometimes we're in tough situations, totally get that 100%. But, if you are able to donate, also amazing because we're also kind of in tough situations. Since studios are they're open again, but I know that a lot of you don't necessarily feel safe going out into the studio and practicing yet, and that's okay. That's why we have online yoga still going on. So I miss you guys, and I hope to see you in person soon. Nonetheless, I'm going to get this thing streaming on blackswanyoga.com really fast. I'll be right back. Get your mat, get some water, get a block, get whatever you want. You don't need any of those things. You can practice without a mat. Live your best life. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. Right, Zozo? Zoe agrees. I just realized the photo. Right, Zozo? For this thing. Oh, it's echoing. There we go. The screenshot I took at the beginning of this photo is horrifying because it was all rotated all incorrectly. Cool. All right. So we are live and good to go. Friends, so this is a longevity flow. Now, a longevity flow, I'm thinking like long-term practicing yoga till you're a million years old. Because that's what we really want. We want to be able to have a sustainable form of not only strength for our body, but also for our mind, our emotions, all the fun stuff. And I say fun stuff, the serious stuff. And to do that, we really need to protect our body. And I think a lot of times we jump into a yoga flow and we are not always 100% warmed up into all of our joints, like our ankles, our wrists, our shoulders, our hips, our spine, even. Although cat cows are great for that. So I guess technically most classes give you a cat cow in there. I usually use cat cows to literally stretch everything, and we're gonna show that to you, or I'm gonna show that to you today. I don't know why I say we are. Like Zoe's gonna be teaching you yoga. Maybe she's really good at down dog. Guys, if this glitched it, I'm gonna put my phone on do not disturb because I was a terrible person and forgot. Okay. Back to YouTube. Okay, cool. Well, it looks like it's still live, so that's good. I should hope. All right. Sorry, friends, if that was interrupting. I put my phone on do not disturb. I've been getting all those scam lately calls, as you guys know, or scam likely calls lately, if you probably get those too. All right, let's start. Soles of our feet together, laying on our back, reclined butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. I've drank a lot of coffee this morning, so that might be why if you're like, wow, she's in a really funky mood. That's probably it. It's all good. We all go through different moods. Anyways, and maybe we're going slightly insane being stuck in our houses without anybody else around. So you can just have your palms facing up, maybe arms out to your side. You could grab for opposite elbows overhead. That might feel really nice to open up and stretch, maybe even just reaching your hands back behind you. Or my personal favorite, well, sometimes I like to just give myself a hug because everybody needs a good old hug. And we aren't getting very many of those lately, so that could be nice. But my favorite is one hand to belly. That's my right hand to my belly, left hand to my heart, and I just settle on it. I like this one because it makes me check in with my breath. And we're going to talk about our breath here. So maybe that's the one you choose, but live your best life. Choose what works for you. So, as we fill up, take a deep breath in, just any old breath. It doesn't matter what style of breathing you're doing. Big open mouth sigh, let something go. Sink a little bit heavier on those exhales. Inhale, fill up. Big open mouth sigh, let something go. Sink even heavier. Use this breath to be really cleansing right now. Another full breath in. Breathe a little bit slower, breathe a little bit fuller. Big open mouth sigh as you're ready, a little bit slower, a little bit more drawn out. Again, another full breath in, nice and slow, fill up. Big open mouth sigh. Lovely yogis. Now you can keep breathing just like that, but I'm going to encourage you to seal your lips and just breathe through your nose if you can. If your allergies are not being kind to you right now, don't worry, breathe out through your mouth. Who cares? Or breathe, be a mouth breather. Like I do that all the time. I got bad allergies too. So just breathe however feels best to you. So lip sealed or, mouth breathing as needed. And then just start to soften that space between your brows. Start to let your muscles soften and relax. Just let yourself completely settle in here. And let's check in with the breath. Can we send a little bit more breath to raise up our right hand so our belly button starts to rise up towards the sky? So fill up, let that belly button lift up. And then a gentle breath out through our nose, if we can, through the nose. Get another breath in, just focusing on sending that breath down into the belly. Maybe you start to constrict your throat a little bit, that Darth Vader ocean like breathing. We call that Ujjayi breath. Now, on the next couple of rounds of breath, let's start to bring a little bit more awareness to this left hand or to our chest. So let our chest start to rise up too, not just our belly, also expand and lift up our heart towards the sky. Pause at the top if you can really feel that expansion, then Let it go. Breathe all the way in. Full chest and belly lifting up towards the sky. Just settling in and arriving. Notice what you've carried onto the mat. Acknowledge without judgment. It's all good. Doesn't matter if it's positive, if it's negative. Those are just labels. And yes, that's okay to feel not so happy all the time in yoga. That is why we practice yoga, is to work through the difficult stuff, to work through the things that are challenging us in life. Just because we practice yoga multiple times a week doesn't mean we're going to be happy all the time and like rainbows and sunshine. So take a deep breath in, expand into your chest and belly. Take a pause at the top, take an extra sip of air in, and then let it go. Now, this last set of breathing, I really want you to focus on that space between your low back and the mat. You probably have a gap naturally there a little bit. I want you to close that gap. I want your low back to fill up with breath so it touches the mat and expands down towards the earth. So, as you're ready, take a deep breath in. Try to breathe all the way down into that low back chamber, and then breathe out. Now, it doesn't matter if your back is touching the mat or not. I'm just saying, like, you should feel it expanding so it's pressing down even more towards the earth. Take a deep breath in, fill up into that low back, and then exhale, let it go. Because everybody's body is different. You might not have a gap here. That's okay. Everyone's built differently. You also might just have the soles of your feet touching the earth, and then naturally it'll touch the ground anyways. Fill up for a big breath in. Notice this full breath as you pause at the top. Take an extra sip of air in, and then let it go. One more set of breath, really focusing on these three chambers, your chest, your belly, and your low back. Notice how these are the biggest breaths you've taken all day. Beautiful breath, yogis. That's what this is all about. It's about this breath and body connection. We just became really aware of different parts of our body and how that connects to our breath and vice versa. And that also probably started to calm your central nervous system. You might feel a little bit more, just a little bit more relaxed, just taking a little bit of the edge off, right? Now, when you're ready, start to just wiggle into your fingers, maybe into your wrists. Just draw some little circles. You might create a fist and just draw some circles into those wrists. Now, you might start to reach your arms long overhead, a nice good morning stretch. Take a deep breath in, reach a little bit longer through the side body. Exhale, we're going to do something fun. Bring your hands back behind the nape of your neck. Nice. Now tuck your chin in towards your chest. Let's start to hover our shoulders a little bit more over the mat, but without cranking our neck forward. It's not about crunching into our neck. It's about lifting from our core to lift and elevate our shoulders off. Now we're going to pulse up and down. You got it, little pulses. Awesome, yogis. Now, keep breathing. Notice immediately if you start to restrict your breath, because I know I naturally do, because core work sucks. But it makes us really strong yogis. It also helps reawaken our body and create some fire and heat in our body to protect it, because we're not practicing in a normal studio right now. Okay, I'm going to stop talking with my hands. I'm going to keep them behind my head like we should. All right, we got this for 10. As fast or slow as you want to go. 9, 8, 7. Last 6. You might feel some fire. 4, 3. Last breath for 1. Exhale, lower it all down. Take your hands up to your knees, close them up like a book, and then hug those knees in towards your chest. Oh my gosh, you might be feeling it in the hip flexors already. I know I am. But notice in your body where you feel it. What I feel it in my body is probably going to be different or might be different. Let's draw our knees in towards our chest, and then let's just draw some circles here. So we're going to let our knees come out towards the edges of the room, pull up and in towards our chest as they come together. So knees out towards the edges and then up and in towards the chest as they come back together. Just drawing some knee circles. Awesome. Really just letting go of that hip stretch that we were doing earlier, but also warming them up, right? By creating movement, we're creating some warming up into those muscles and joints to really let them know that we're about to start moving and stretching into them without injuring ourselves. All right, let's switch out the direction. So knees out towards the edge of the room and then back together because what goes well in one direction should go in the other too for balance because yoga is about finding a balance, but without focusing on the perfection. That's something that I've had to learn over the years is it's okay if a teacher forgets a part of the class and you don't do something on the other side. I've had to learn to let that go. That used to really bother me. And like as a teacher, I know I forget things on some sides, like might do pyramid pose on the right, but not on the left, or vice versa. And that is okay. You're not gonna walk out of the class like, you know, differently. You're going to, if you don't injure yourself, hopefully, you are going to be, noticing that it's okay to lean into a little bit of the imperfection. Symmetry doesn't always have to be there 100%. It's about balance. All right, knees are still in towards our chest. Let's grab for opposite elbows if we can, giving ourselves the biggest squeeze in. Nice big squeeze into our chest. Really pull those legs in. I always feel a big stretch here into my hip flexors. Good. From this tight squeeze, drawing our nose up and in towards our knees a little bit more. Another full breath in, warming up into the spine a little bit. Exhale, let's lower it all down. Let's take our left foot down towards the earth, right foot up towards the sky. Just a little hamstring stretch. Grab in for calf or thigh, whatever works for you. Now, you could extend your left leg or you could keep it bent. Notice how it's the beginning of our practice, though. My thing I'm going to do is keep my knee bent because, yes, I could do this. Sure, my hamstrings are pretty flexible, but I also know my body and I know they are flexible and I want to protect them a little bit more. So sometimes keeping this bent knee and keeping a little micro bend here and not pulling too hard on my leg is the smarter option because you'll get into a deeper pose throughout class. You don't have to do it right at the beginning. It's not a competition. Let it all go. All right, yogis, drawing this right leg in a little bit closer. Nice, nice, nice. And then on the exhale, let's release this leg back up towards the sky. Let's cross our right ankle on top of our left knee, a figure four stretch, interlace our hands to the back of our left thigh. Oof. This feels pretty good, right? Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. Now, I always take my right elbow and I press into my right thigh to draw that knee towards the top of the mat. Good. Another breath in. How calmly are you breathing? And another breath out. Gently release your left hand from the back of your thigh, but keep your legs where they're at. Now we're going to again tuck our chin towards our chest, roll our shoulders up. We're going to go for some little pulses here. We got this. Now, are you breathing? That's a fun little check in. And then are you smiling? Because a little smile goes a long ways when you're doing something that's not so much fun. All right, we got this for 10, 9, 8, like you're reaching towards the top of the mat. 6, 5, 4, breathe. 2, 1, hold at the top. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower it on down. Oof. Hug that right knee back in towards your chest. Maybe you start to draw it over towards that right armpit. This is where I'll extend my left leg because I feel the stretch a little bit more because my hips are flexible. This one, I don't feel it so much, but you might just play around with the left knee being bent or straightened out. Now you can just stay here with this right knee hanging on to it, pulling it up towards the armpit outside the right ribs. Or if you are pretty flexible, you could take peace fingers around big toe and start to kick that right foot out towards the right. But mindful that you keep your left hand pressing down to that hip point so you don't lift your left booty cheek off the mat. You keep it grounded because both cheeks to the mat here, please. We don't want to injure ourselves, right? And I'm keeping a micro bend in my knee. Although I am flexible, I'm still keeping a bend in my knee because um, I have this lovely piece of furniture here to remind me to bend my knee, which is convenient. Not always have that in a yoga studio, but sometimes your neighbor's there. So this is like the equivalent of practicing next to someone back before we had 6 feet between us. But also, it's just good to protect your body a little bit. You'll get into the full stretch later on. All right, yogis, from here, wherever your knee is, whether your legs extended or you're hugging that knee towards your chest, half happy baby. Take your right hand to the outside of your right foot, looping this right elbow to the inside of the right calf or knee a little bit. So, really flex this foot, pull this knee down. Now, it might look different just depending on your flexibility in your body. Don't stress. Something I'm gonna say here though, keep that left glute and cheek glued down is what I'm trying to say. Keep that left hand on your hip point so you don't move too much. But also, this is harder than full happy baby for me. Half happy baby, if you notice, might be a little bit more difficult for your body than full happy baby. And just observe and notice these things. Learn about your body, learn a little bit more. So next time you're in a half happy baby, you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of more intense for me. Might not be for the neighbor next to me. All right, gently let this right leg go. I'm gonna again plant my foot down towards the earth, knee up towards the sky. And I'm gonna draw this left leg in towards my chest, just give it a little squeeze to remind it to warm up because it's been kind of just hanging out. And then we're gonna kick this left foot up towards the sky. And we're going to bring our hand either behind our thigh or calf, whatever works for you. Keep the shoulders down, keep the head relaxed, keep the neck relaxed. So, no pulling yourself up here. We're not doing core work right now. And then notice your breath. Notice what's going on with you. What is your breath telling your body? Nice, yogis. Take one more full breath in here, whatever's going on for you. Exhale, gently release this left leg with your hands. Cross that left ankle on top of your right knee. And then figure four stretch for the left side. And then maybe that left elbow presses into your left thigh to draw that knee further towards the top of the mat to remind it to keep pressing forward. Now, if you notice, my left ankle is very flexed and active because you want to protect the ankle. If your ankle is pointed or like loose, you have the ability to move it more rather than if it's flexed. Oh, wait, my ankle's not moving at all. That's why you always keep the foot flexed for the ankle that is crossed on top of the knee because you want to keep it from rolling your ankle or putting strain on it. All right, thanks for joining my ankle TED Talk. Let's keep stretching here. Such a weird mood today, guys. Hug this right knee in towards your chest a little bit more if you want. And then we're going to gently release our hands away from the back of our right thigh, but we're going to keep our right leg lifted, keep our left leg lifted, and we're going to reach our hands forward. And we're just going to start pulsing up and down. Remember this? Hey, did you lose the strength in your ankle? Can you keep flexing it to 90 degrees? Okay, we're going to keep doing this while breathing for 10, 9. A smile helps. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Little pulses. 2. Hold at the top for 1. Hold it. Exhale, lower everything down. Hug this left knee in towards your chest. Maybe draw it over towards the outside of the ribs, towards the armpits. And you might extend the right leg or keep the knee bent, just depending on what works for you and your flexibility. All right, yogis. Now your choice. You can stay right here and keep hugging this knee in towards your chest. Or again, peace fingers around big toe if you have that flexibility. But take your right hand to your hip point. Start pressing it down to keep that glute glued down to the mat. Try to keep your right shoulder glued down as well. And then again, I'm not fully extending my leg here, even though my hips and hamstrings are pretty flexible. I'm not going to push it because it's not worth injuring yourself. This is longevity. This is for our entire life to practice yoga. There's not very many things that you hear about people practicing in life for an entire lifetime that are physical and mental. Well, I mean, we don't normally get very many physical and mental times either, and emotional. But physical practices, even like, don't usually extend an entire lifetime. And the beauty of yoga is it really works for everybody. Um, And as you get older, you're going to learn more about how your body's changing and growing, and you can adjust your practice. All right, yogis, one more full breath in. And then exhale wherever you're at. We're meeting in that half happy baby. So we're going to take our left hand to the outside of our left foot. Make sure everything's completely rooted down, even through the right side of your body. You might bend your knee or not. It's up to you. And you might be in a different shape than I am. Totally fine. Please don't compare. That's also one of the hardest things I've had to work through, besides like the symmetry and perfectionism, is comparison. It is really hard not to compare yourself in a yoga class, either to a teacher or a person near you practicing. Um, it can be really difficult because or somebody on Instagram, we really want to be just like someone else because on the outside it looks so simple and easy and beautiful, or whatever society has embedded in our head to be beauty. But you know what? We don't need that. And you are a beautiful yogi just as you are here on the mat. And I want you to know that deep down inside. So, all right. I don't know how this turned into another TED Talk. Take one more full breath in. Exhale. Let's gently hug both knees in towards our chest. Now we're going to warm up into our ankles here. So let's draw some circles into our ankles. Maybe we draw them in the same direction, or we could draw them in opposite directions, like a weird dance into your feet. Whatever way it is, I'm rolling to the right first. I'm right hand dominant, so I suppose everything just tends to go to the right. But also in yoga, we stretch into the right for our digestion before we stretch into the left. All right, switch it out, other direction. I'm going to the left. Maybe you're going that way too. Maybe you're doing some rolls towards the center and your toes are tapping every once in a while. Or maybe you're doing them the same direction. All right, well, now that we've kind of warmed up our ankles a little bit, some rolls, let's flex and point the toes, flex and point the toes. We've already kind of done this through our core work and our figure four stretches. But if you notice, maybe your ankles are feeling a little bit tired already. I know mine are, just because they're getting warmed up. And also, we don't usually like work on strengthening our ankles. All right, hug these knees in a little bit more. Bring your hands to the back of your thighs. Start to warm up your spine just a wee bit. Let's roll up and down the length of our spine. If that's not working, just roll off to one side. And we're all going to meet in tabletop. So, however you want to get to tabletop, but a really sustainable way to get there is to cross your ankles. And if it's okay with your knees, you can roll over your knees gently. If that doesn't work, then just flip your feet out around you. Figure out your way to get there. This is your practice. All right, yogis, let's take some cat cows right away. Inhale, lift tailbone and gaze up. Exhale, round and hollow out your spine. Now hold this cat leg back. Let's press our ribs over to the right and then over to the left. Beautiful, yogis. One more time to the right and then one more time to the left. Come back and do some cat cows. Maybe you move through some neck rolls. You might bring your right ear over towards your right shoulder, left ear over towards left shoulder. And then eventually the next exhale, rounding into your spine. You might press your ribs right and left. Make this yours. Move through cat cows as fluidly as you want. You can hold cats or cows to get additional stretches in there for the low back. This one's my favorite. That cat thing with the ribs right and left. What should we call that pose? Wiggling cat? Cat on the cat scratch thing when they like rub themselves against like furniture and stuff. That's what it reminds me of. Like a cat trying to like scratch their pet themselves essentially on furniture. All right, take 2 more rounds of breath. One last set of cat cow. All right, my friends, I am going to turn so you can see my right hand. All right, so now we're back in a neutral tabletop. We're going to face our fingers back towards our knee, and we're going to face the palm up. Now, you could do this in both palms at the same time, but for sometimes that's a lot in our wrists, right, to have 2 palms facing up. But if you can, go for it. If not, I'll just join you with the left palm down, the right palm facing up. Now let's just move a little bit of forwards and backwards motion, not much. If this doesn't feel good to move, just stay still. Again, know your body. Zoe, stop licking your paws. Man. Anybody else's dog lick their paws obsessively. All right, now let's take our fingers and pull them in towards the center of our palm for just a moment and gently release. One more. Let's take our fingers towards the center of our palm and then gently release. Nice. Let's take the flat palm down, but fingers still back towards our knees. And then let's maybe move forwards and backwards and peel the heel of our palm up. But maybe you don't because maybe it doesn't feel good to move. Again, honor and know your own body. You do you. Make this practice yours. I like to keep a little bend in my elbow the whole time. Some people like to straighten it out, but mindful not to lock your elbow out because if you're double jointed, especially, that causes strain. So always keep a micro bend there. So notice if you're able to hyperextend like I am here, and that micro bend. One of my yoga teachers years ago taught me that, and I am so grateful to him for making me realize that I'm double jointed or like hyperextending my elbows. And I always need to keep a micro bend. I think that's a huge part of longevity is learning about your own body. All right, let's bring our hand back to neutral, but I like to draw some circles into my wrist. I'm going to flip back to neutral though, facing towards the top of the mat, I should say. All right. Now let's face our fingers back towards our knee. Again, palm faces up, a little bit of forwards and backwards motion. Zoe, stop licking your paws. Keep going, guys, with that wrist stretch. Zoe, stop. Sorry, guys. All right. And then when you're ready, let's squeeze our fingers in towards the center of our palm and then gently release. Again, fingers in towards the center of our palm. And then gently release. Let's bring our palm flat down. Again, fingers still back towards the knee. And let's move or stay still. You make it work for you. I like to stretch into the fingers, so I like to really like press them down. Um, but that's up to you. All right, yogis. Let's come back to our neutral tabletop. Tuck our toes. Let's stretch into our feet. Yogi toe stretch. Here's where we're going to stretch our neck and our shoulders. So interlace your hands to your low back. Now that you can see my toes are tucked, I'm sitting back towards the heels. We're going to go through this quicker so that you're not here for forever. All right, bring your knuckles or the spine to the right side of your waist. I'm trying to mirror to the right side of your waist. Okay? So it doesn't have to be outside of it. It could be back behind your back. That's fine. Squeeze your elbows together, shoulders roll down the back. And then drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. I close my eyes and I'm here because I really try to focus on the sensation and my breath, how they're connected. Because if this is an intense stretch, I notice that I restrict my breath. So that's why I like to kind of close my eyes to remind myself breathe deep, breathe calm, breathe slow, patiently. Remind myself I'm not stuck here for forever. This is finite, not infinite. All right, come back through center. Let's bring our knuckles to the left side of our waist. Squeeze our elbows together, shoulders down the back, right ear over towards right shoulder. I'm rusty at mirroring. I used to be decently well at saying the opposite side of which side I was stretching to mirror, but since I haven't been teaching at studio as much, guys, I'm rusty. All right, feel that stretch on the left side of your neck. Squeeze those elbows together as much as you'd like. Shoulders keep rolling down the back. Close the eyes. Focus on the breath. 2 more rounds of breath here. That's it. Let's come back through center for that last breath in. Exhale, we're going to roll back to a tabletop. Tap the tops of our feet down to the mat. Let that go. All right, yogis. We're going to go for a quick hero's pose, really get into those quads and stretch into the ankles. So knees are together, thighs are still touching, but our heels are to the outside of our thighs and glutes. Now, if you can't touch the ground, that's okay. Tuck something underneath your booty or modify to just sit on top of your heels. That's totally fine too. But if you can, touch your booty to the earth and your thighs are and knees are touching or pulling together as best you can. You could start to recline a little bit. This is if your booty's touching the mat though. Please, please, please. All right, so you could take like a little like, "Ooh, I'm just leaning back at the beach kind of thing, pose, or you could lower down to your forearms, which is like just a yoga pose. I can't compare it to anything in life that I can think of. Or all the way down to your back. And again, just like how we began class, you can grab for opposite elbows overhead, create a nice little frame around your head, and it creates extra stretch into the side body, which I love. A little bit of horse lips breathing is always good to let go of some tension. So as silly as it sounds, you just flutter your lips like a horse. On the exhale, and how can you not smile after that and relax a little bit more? Taking ourselves a little bit less seriously. All right, when you're ready, though, if you're reclined all the way down, gently press your way upright. Oof. Let's come back up and tuck our toes. All right, yogis, hover your knees for beast pose. So just an inch or so over the mat. You might walk your knees a little bit closer towards your wrists, so you have a little bit shorter gap here. That's okay. Dome up to that space between your shoulder blades. And then from here, you have some options. We can take our right hand and tap our left shoulder and then lower it back down. Try not to rock side to side too much. Left hand taps right shoulder and vice versa. You keep moving through that. Or if you want, you could hover your right foot. You could draw that right knee behind your right elbow and then step it back. Same thing with the left knee to left elbow, step it back. You could go over something like that. You could just keep hovering, or the hands touching the shoulders, or a combination of all those things, but you're breathing for one more round of breath in. Breath out. We all meet in down dog. When you're ready, pedal it out. Lift those hips high to sky. Ooh, nothing quite like some beast pose to wake me up. All right, I like to lift high onto the tippy toes. Sometimes when I'm here, bend into one knee, bend into the other. Pedal it out. Find your movement. You might sway and sass your hips left and right. I do as I move my heels and pivot them. You know, sometimes I bend into one elbow and the other, and I try to look underneath shoulders, shake my head yes and no. We just got to find those things that work for our body. Beautiful yogis, take your time to tiptoe your feet with straight legs, palms rooted down, highest tiptoes ever, like you're wearing some crazy stilettos, all the way to the top of the mat. Now suck up your low belly. So as you take these tiny tiptoe steps forward, you can eventually arrive at the top. And I'm going to promise you that at the top, it's going to be real darn difficult and feel nearly impossible. All right, ragdoll, bend into both knees. Feet are hip width distance or further. Sway or bob left and right. Feel that release into your spine. Breathe. Now I feel this release into my spine. It kind of pops a little bit as it lengthens. You might notice that feels like that to you or something else. I also notice the stretch as I lean left and right into my hips. You might notice that or something else for you. It might be more in the hamstrings. You might be somewhere else. Soften the jaw. One more full breath in. On the exhale, release your fingers to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat back, gazing straight down. Scoop up the low belly. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift once again. Scoop up that navel in towards your spine. Exhale, forward fold. When you're ready, root and rise. Reach high towards the sky. Cactus your heart open, a back bend. Warm it up. Let that heart open. Interlace your hands to your low back. Knuckles pull down. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the bind. Inhale, halfway lift with the bind. Knuckles pull towards the back of the room. Exhale, release your hands down. Step back, top of a push-up high plank pose. Oh, here's where the fun starts to begin. So you can stay right here. You can lower your knees to touch the earth. That is 100% cool to do because you got to adjust for what's working for you. Now we're going to lower halfway with our elbows in towards our ribs, and then we're going to press back up. So if the knees are helpful for you here, lower halfway, press back up. Awesome. Lower halfway, press back up. We got one more of those. Lower halfway, and then this time all the way down to the belly. Oof. Awesome job. Baby cobra, hover your heart, tops of your feet into the mat. Hover your palms, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, lower it back down, tuck the toes, press your way up, tabletop, or plank pose.
And then hips go high, down dog. Tabletop or plank to get back to down dog. Child's pose, whatever you want. And feel free to pedal it out as you arrive back with your breath. Nice, yogis. Again, inhale, lift into those tippy toes. Take your little tiny steps toward your straight legs. This should feel darn near impossible to do, and that is okay. That's why you practice yoga for a lifetime. This has a lot of things to work towards, but not necessarily need to do or ever achieve in our lifetime. All right, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root and rise, reach high. Grab onto that left wrist, stretch up and over to the right. Inhale, come back through center, grab onto that right wrist, stretch up and over the left. Inhale, come back through center, cactus your heart open, big back bend. Inhale, arms reach high, nice. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold and take your vinyasa. If you want to flow with me from the top of a push-up, we're lowering only 2 times here. So lower halfway, press back up. That's 1. Here's 2. Lower halfway, press back up. Okay, I kind of lied. It's like 2.5. Lower halfway, and maybe you take locust pose or up dog, your choice. If you want to go for locust, interlace your hands to your low back. Hover your heart over the mat. You may or may not choose to hover the feet. You don't have to, depending on how warmed up you are. Exhale, lower it all back down. Tuck your toes, press your way back up, down dog. Oof. Pedal it out, march it out, let it go. Shake your head, yes and no. Come back to breath. All right, yogis, taking your time to make your way to the top of the mat one last time. Looking forward, maybe this time you hop, step, float. Travel forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time, right away, toes together, heels slightly apart. Bend into the knees so that your belly and your thighs and your chest are pretty much touching. All right, awesome. Now that you got this low depth in your seat, swim your arms up towards the sky for chair pose. Now you might notice that this puts a lot of strain on your shoulders. Take your arms out a little bit wider, or my personal favorite here, interlace your hands to your low back. I love this one. It reminds me to keep my chest proud and open, proud heart, proud posture, but also it doesn't put any strain on my shoulders. It's a little bit lower. Make it work for your body. What works? A little bit lower. Good. Exhale when you're ready. Forward fold. Release it on down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Easy twist. Peel that right arm high towards the sky. Exhale, lower that right hand down. Anjane, lower your left knee down. Sweep your arms up high. Exhale, cactus your heart open, back bend. Good. Now keeping your arms cactus, so your arms are kind of at 90 degrees like goalposts. You're going to slide your right arm underneath your left for eagle wrap. So it's the eagle wrap of our arms. We're going to take our right arm underneath our left, and you might grab for a thumb. You might just touch the back of your hands together, or you might be able to make it palm to palm. It doesn't really matter. And if this really bothers your shoulders, just grab for the back of your shoulders like this. So you get a second hug today. All right, inhale, lift those elbows up towards the sky. Exhale, round and hollow for a moment. Inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, unwind, lower your hands down. Standing L, tuck your back left toes, launch up onto your right leg. Oh yeah, beautiful job, yogis. Now, what's going on with your breath? Can you start to draw this left knee up and in towards your chest, one-legged Tadasana? And then we're going to wrap this left leg on top of our right, over an eagle wrapping of our legs. Yes, we got this. So our left leg's on top. And it doesn't really matter which arm, honestly, you put on top or bottom. To me, I just do whatever feels good. Since we already stretched into the right side, let's switch it up. Let's do left arm underneath, right arm on top. Elbows up towards the sky. Good, yogis. So our elbows are pressing away from our body, and they're about shoulder height. Oof, if you fall out of your eagle, it's all good. You're human. You can always use those left toes as a kickstand. My balance is something else today, so a little bit lower. Good. When you're ready, unwind those legs, but keep the arms where they're at. Slowly kick that leg back. Warrior 3. Oh, yeah, yogis, you got this. From your warrior 3, we are landing in warrior 1. We're going to set up for humble warrior. So we're in warrior 1. That means our left toes at about 45 degrees. Our hips are square towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lift your elbows high. Exhale, humble warrior. Bow it down. Right shoulder inside of right knee. Let your head hang heavy. Let it all hang out. Maybe give that head a little shake, yes and no. Let your elbows reach towards the ground. Good. It's an eagle wrap variation of a humble warrior. Keep those hips square towards the front of the mat all the while. Keep pulling that right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale, when you're ready, rise back up. Good. Keeping your arms exactly as they are. Can you move into a high crescent lunge? So hop that left foot back. So you're just on the toes. Oh yeah, we're going there. We're lowering the knee to dip and we're lifting back up. Again, lower that knee to dip. Lift back up. One more time. Lower it to dip. Lower everything down. Unwind your arms. Exhale, lower your hands down. Frame your foot. We're flowing back into our down dog. You might take a one-legged vinyasa. You might take up dog. You might take locust, baby cobra. Or you might skip it all and go straight back to down dog. Beautiful job, yogis. All right, when you're ready, we're traveling to the top of the mat. Hop, step, float, travel forward. Inhale, wiggle the toes together, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, sit up for your chair pose. Heels are slightly apart, toes are together, belly and thighs touch it. Sit low, chair. Awesome. Feel that strength coming from your glutes, right? This is a major muscle group. There's 3 different muscle groups in there, pretty much just holding you up. And they are so strong. Why not put some of the load back into our glutes? Put them to work. You got this, yogis. One more full inhale. Exhale, forward fold, release it on down. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold, step the right foot back. Left foot stays forward. Easy twist, left arm reaches high. Good. Exhale, lower that left hand down. When you're ready, lower that right knee down. Anjane, sweep your arms up high towards the sky. Cactus your heart open, back bend. Now keeping your arms right here. Again, we're looping the left arm underneath the right. This should feel familiar because we were just there. Inhale, lift our elbows up towards the sky. Exhale, humble, bring it in towards your belly. Let the head hang if you can for a moment. Inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, unwind, bring your hands down to frame your foot, tuck your back toes. Standing L is where we meet. Nice, yogis. Balancing on the standing L, shake your head yes and no. You might bring a hand behind your calf or both hands behind your calf and work on balance, but we're not here too much longer, so work on what you want. Couple more rounds of breath. All right, when you're ready, on the exhale, start to stand all the way up. One-legged Tadasana. Let's meet that right knee in towards our chest. We're going to cross this right leg over our left. Eagle wrap our legs. And then again, right arm goes underneath the left here. Now, you might be able to use your right toes as a kickstand. You have to sit a little bit lower to truly get that kickstand, if you notice. But if you're up a little bit higher, you might be able to double wrap your foot behind your calf or not. Don't stress. And then sit low into your eagle chair. Just like a chair pose, you're sitting low into it. Proud heart, proud chest, elbows up to shoulder height, and they're pressing away from your chest. So your elbows are reaching away from you. There's a stretch in your shoulders, but without rounding. Another full round of breath in. Exhale, unwind that left leg, kick it back, warrior 3 with the eagle wrap arms. Balance on that left leg. Eagle's super good because it's great for our immune system. It helps flush lymphatic fluid out of our lymph nodes. One more full inhale. Stop science nerding out. Exhale, land that right foot at a 45. We're in warrior 1. Hips are square towards the front of the mat. Elbows lift up towards the sky. Exhale, humble. Gently bow left shoulder inside of left knee, but keeping the left hip pulling back, right hip pulling forward for this humble eagle warrior. And breathe. Notice what's going on with your breath. Yogis, you're doing awesome. Great stretch for the shoulders. Opens up our chest. So often these days, I feel like we're spending extra time on our phones and computers. So this is really nice. And with worry weighing down our shoulders, this is really nice to really open things up. All right, yogis. One more full breath in. Exhale, rise back up. Your breath for a moment. And then pivot that right foot to high lunge. So you're only on the toes, the heels lifted, and your hips are still square. Good. Exhale, lower your right knee to dip. Inhale, lift it up. Oh yeah, this is fun. Exhale, lower that right knee to dip. Inhale, lift it up. One more time, lower it down, and then let it touch the ground. Unwrap your arms. Exhale, hands come down, frame your foot. Tuck your right toes and take any vinyasa you want from here. Awesome, yogis. Our bodies should be feeling pretty warmed up right now. Now, here's a choice. You could take child's pose for a moment and just ground everything down. I'm going to encourage that one, but you know your body best. If you have something that you want to work on, it might be an inversion going upside down. Go for it right now. We're just going to take 2 more rounds of breath, 2 to 3 more rounds of breath, wherever you're at. Okay, yogis, one more full round of breath. Whatever you're working on, you can keep working on it. But I'm going to get us out of this child's pose. So really pressing our palms down, tuck our toes, and then let's lift our hips high back to down dog. Now that we've recentered ourselves for a moment, let's sweep our right leg high towards the sky. Bend our knees, stack our hip open. Option to flip over if you want it, or just draw some knee circles. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back to that 3-legged dog, right toes flex down. Exhale, draw our right knee behind our right wrist, but hold it there. Pivot your right foot over towards your left wrist. Hold. Almost pigeon pose. Really flex that right ankle if you can. Hold it hovering. One more breath in. Exhale, lower it all down. Left leg straight back behind you. Now you're in half pigeon pose. Make sure that you have that strength in your heart. You're sitting up really proud and tall. And then if you want, you can fold it forward or you can stay upright. Your choice. As you arrive in your half pigeon pose, notice your breath. How can you slow things down in your breath? Two more rounds of breath, yogis. Last breath in. And that exhale, press your way back upright. Now you can take whatever way you want to get back to your down dog. It might be tucking your left toes and stepping this right foot back, just pedaling it out. Could be bending your knee, stacking your hip, flipping over. Or sometimes in a tabletop, it's nice to draw some knee circles. Up to you, or whatever else floats your boat. Give your head a little shake, yes and no. Come back to breath as you arrive back in your down dog. And then let's sweep that left leg high. Bend our knee, stack our hip. Option to flip over or draw some knee circles in one direction. And then in the other direction. Losing my headphones. All right, yogis, let's flex our left toes down towards the earth. Exhale, draw that left knee behind our left wrist. Pivot our foot over towards our right wrist and really flex our foot, flex our ankle. Stay here for another breath in. Keep that leg hovering. Almost pigeon pose for your last full breath in. Exhale, lower it all down. Oh my goodness, I hate that one so much. Right toes flex back behind or pointed back behind you straight. No turning into the ankle, keep it straight. And then when you're ready to turn back, make sure that your hips feel square and even. You have equal weight distributed between the two. Stay upright or fold it down. But just because I do not like almost pigeon pose very much, because it's challenging to me, that's why. Things that are tough, I tend to be like, oh, no. But it's a good thing to keep practicing. So maybe you're in the same boat there with me. Letting your forehead rest down. Let your breath slow down here. Notice if you're grabbing onto your fingers, can you let your hands just softly rest? Let your shoulders soften, the space between your brows, your jaw. Hi, Zozo. You know, I'm teaching a yoga class right now. Oh, nice down dog. Very good down dog. Three-legged dog? Yep. Into the right leg. How about the left? There it is. All right. Good job on symmetry and balance. Bye. All right, yogis. 2 more rounds of breath. Just take a deep breath in. And maybe a big sigh out. Let something go. Last full inhale. On the exhale, we press back up to our palms. Find your way back to your down dog. It doesn't even have to be the down dog. Honestly, we're just going to meet on our booties. But if you want to work on floating through to a seat, widen your hands out wider. I like my hands towards the edges of the mat. I scoop up my low belly. I pull up my lower pelvic floor. I lift really high into the tippy toes. I really bend my knees. And I whoop, cross my ankles like a little cross-legged crisscross applesauce seat. And I kick my feet through. And it's just one of those things you have to mess up a million times to keep practicing. All right. From here, we're going to roll on down to our backs, nice and slow. Maybe you hover the legs for a moment, work on that core, and then exhale, let it all come down. Oh, you've earned this moment on your back, just laying here. Hug these knees in towards your chest. Good. If you'd like a happy baby to close out your practice, your full happy baby now, this is a great time to do so. If you would like maybe a supine twist, you can also do that. I'll guide you through the supine twist too. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Let your knees fall over towards the left. I personally like to touch my toe to the earth and scoot my hips to the right as my arms open up to a T and I gaze over towards the right. That's my thing I've noticed for my supine twist that feels good. Make it work for you. Experiment around. You might not want to scoot your hips a little bit further towards the center of the mat. You might just keep them wherever they're at. When you're ready, bring your knees over to the right, maybe scoot your hips back to the center, gaze over towards the left, let everything slow down. If you're skipping the supine twist, you might move into your Shavasana now. Just a couple more rounds of breath for this left side. Show it some love, it's good for digestion. Interesting to into our right side first. I know it's confusing because in supine, your knees are technically falling to the left. But if you notice, if you feel your abdominals, you're twisting now more into the right side, so it's pushing it over to the left. And that's why supine's kind of the opposite way around. Well, you can always twist whatever direction you want. It doesn't matter too much, I promise. As you're ready, bring your knees back in towards your chest. Give yourself the biggest hug. Show yourself a lot of love for showing up on the mat. And then when you're ready, let your arms and legs take up some space. Shavasana. Let your eyes close. Let your body, your physical vessel, your body that is here, just weigh heavy. Let it rest. It's done its job. It is loved. It is beautiful. It is appreciated. Now let your mind just gently rest. Whatever distracting thoughts float through, just let them drift further and further away, nice and slow and calm. I'll let you know when it's time to reawaken, yogis. Enjoy your rest. Feel free to keep resting. Just lock your device. Turn on a timer on your phone to let it reawaken you after a couple minutes or however long you want. Or if you're ready to reawaken, deepen your breath. Wiggle softly into fingers and toes to reawaken. Roll into ankles and wrists. A heavy rock of the head, right and left, or more. Move into your jaw a little bit like you're yawning. Find some movement. Before hugging your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a little squeeze before rocking to the right or left side for fetal position. Bottom arm is a pillow, top palm connects to the earth. When you're ready, pressing your way upright to a comfortable cross-legged seat, keeping the eyes closed. Palms can rest to your knees or palms can come to heart center. I'm going to bring my right hand on top of my heart and then stack my left hand on top of that. So my palms are pressing in towards my heart to remind myself this is that space of love, the space from which we can extend love and compassion to others. But first, we must extend it to ourselves. We must love and accept ourselves unconditionally before we can ever begin to really extend true love out to others around us. When we love ourselves without labels, without judgment, without conditions,
then we can start to see everybody else with love. There's no competition, there's no comparison. And yes, you might have to keep reminding yourself to stop comparison and competition because it's so ingrained in us, but you can do it with practice. Remember that love is the best thing that we've got out there. Thank you so much for showing up to take care of yourself. Thank you so much for showing up to practice along with me. Thank you so much for practicing for yourself so that you can extend this love to others that you interact with in your day to day life. Whether you agree with them on views or not, you can extend love to them, compassion. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Yogis, until I get to see you again, I humbly bow and love you with my whole heart. And traditionally, at the end of a yoga class, it's said namaste. But if you do not necessarily practice that, sometimes I struggle with saying that as a yoga teacher. I feel I have very little rights to say it. But namaste, or I just love you. Nonetheless, yogis, have a great and awesome day. Don't forget to be kind and love each other. And thanks for practicing. Thanks for dealing with my silly little pup walking through our video over and over again. Donations again to blackswanyoga.com. Austin is our city. If you donate to the Austin Black Swan Yoga, those donations are 100% given to the Black Swan Yoga Teachers of Austin. And all those donations get distributed amongst the teachers. So we really appreciate any and all donations that you can make. And if everybody just donates a little bit, that adds up to something big. It doesn't have to be a crazy big donation. Just like things in our life, if everybody just contributes a little bit more love, we don't have to necessarily like give our whole heart. You know what I mean? We can keep some of that for ourselves too. So it applies in so many situations. I miss you guys. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're safe. I hope you're staying home and you're wearing a mask when you go out. I hope you're washing your hands, singing the happy birthday song twice. And I hope you're checking in on someone in your life that might need a little bit of extra love and care. All right, from Zoe and I, wherever she is, have a great day, yogis. I miss you guys. As Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other, friends.